Hello again. I know no more than anybody else about the Prime Minister's ethical standards and honesty, but enough has now appeared in the newspapers to cause any right-thinking person to shake his head doubtfully and ask one or two penetrating questions. Just before they were about to appear in the public record, Keir Starmer has decided that £6,000 worth of tickets to see pop singer Taylor Swift and also tickets for a day at the races in Doncaster should be paid for by him rather than anybody else. To go off at a slight tangent for a moment, I'm candidly surprised that the Prime Minister has time to go gadding off to Doncaster to watch some horse racing or go to pop concerts. I would have thought he had enough fully to occupy himself with both world affairs and on the domestic front in Britain, but that's by the by. Like most people, of course, if I wish to go and see a pop concert or spend a day at the races, I would expect to shell out for it myself. If somebody offered me tickets for that kind of event, the first question I would ask myself would be, what does he want? What must I do to earn this generosity? When we see the Prime Minister panicking like this and suddenly getting his chequebook out, it almost looks like a guilty man who is on the verge of being caught out at something discreditable. It inevitably prompts us to reflect in the following way. If those £6,000 worth of tickets which he had been given were all open and above board, ethically correct and not breaking any rules, then he should have no qualms at all about accepting them. If there was, on the other hand, something sleazy or dodgy about those gifts, then he is right in handing them back or paying for them out of his own pocket. These seem to me to be the only two possibilities. I must remark that I've witnessed corruption in local authorities, and the way it used to work was that a councillor on the planning committee, say, would be given a day at the races and various other treats when an application came up which it was hoped he would approve. This is common practice, and it is known as bribery and corruption. I do not say that the Prime Minister is guilty of such practices, you understand. I merely draw parallels with some of what we've been reading about and my own experiences. You see, people go into politics, whether local or national, for one of three reasons. These are money, power, and fame. All of us like to see our picture in the papers. We all like a bit of extra cash, and many people like bossing folk around or interfering in their lives. These are what motivate local councillors, MPs, and prime ministers alike. What we have been learning about with the Prime Minister's affairs looks, to me at least, identical to the kind of deal which one might find at the clubhouse of the golf course in London, where the managing directors of construction companies rub shoulders with the chair of the planning committee of the local authority, and the local senior police officers are also drinking a few yards away, in the company of men who are widely rumoured to be big-shot crooks. This kind of corrupt little get-together is often leavened and sweetened by gifts of various kinds, such as, for example, tickets for the races at Doncaster or for some pop concert, which the daughter of the chair of the planning committee would love to attend. It is how things work often in local government. I have no idea at all if this is how things work at Westminster, but seeing mention of those tickets for the races and pop concerts certainly brought this kind of scene to mind. Of course, it may well be that I am traducing Keir Starmer dreadfully by such reflections, and that things work very differently in the higher reaches of government than they do at Ilford Golf Club. It is just that the similarity struck me as being eerie. This kind of thing, of course, used to be quite common in government. One remembers the Marconi scandal, which involved Lloyd George. It is unusual, though, for such suspicions to be voiced so soon into a premiership. Starmer has, of course, only had his feet under the table at Downing Street for 3 months. The good Lord alone knows what else is likely to come to light.